Good morning. Today, I want to talk about the Great Awakening and the big ascension that's taking place on planet Earth. There are a lot of big shifts taking place, and I know that a lot of people have been feeling it since probably, 2020 was for a lot of people, including myself. I know there have been a lot of awakened souls for many years. However, I know that there was a big shift that took place in 2012, and then with the virus in 2020, a lot of people, because they were forced to stay home, had an awakening begin. I personally went through an event that was the catalyst for my spiritual awakening. And I had been in a very low place, just living my life unawakened, really unconsciously is the better word for it. Unawakened, unconscious, same thing. It was my desperate call to God. And I say God, you can say universe, you can say higher power, whatever feels most comfortable to you. It was my desperate call out to God, that I didn't want to be the way that I was anymore. I just, from my heart, just said, please, God, please just help me. I don't want to be like this anymore. And it was at that point that I started having all kinds of synchronicities, little serendipities. And it's been like following breadcrumbs for 4 years. And I started realizing I was communicating again, because I had in the past as a child and a young adult, all of these unseen spirits and guides started interacting with me. And I'm thinking, wow, at some soul level, I understood that it was real, and that I wasn't making any of it up, because obviously it led me to where I am today, which is complete and total freedom and peace. So when I tell you that these things are available to each and every one of us, it's very true. So what I've come to understand through meditation and speaking with my guide, Saint Germain, and the company of heaven, I like to say it, because I've spoken with my husband that passed, my sister that passed, my grandmother, my grandfather, my real father. I got a whole bunch of family in heaven that have been helping assist me through this whole process. And anyway, so what I've been shown is that we are going through an ascension on planet Earth. We are evolving. We are going into our next phase of evolution. And it's really interesting because every single soul that's on the planet right now, and that includes you, at some level is aware of this. Your soul is aware of this. You agreed to be here and to be a part of this, which I think is really exciting. And we are now in our next big phase of awakening humanity. And so all of the light workers like myself and others who have been walked through this process, and there's many of us, we've been being prepared so that we can help usher in all of the new awakened souls that are beginning to be awakened. And some of the symptoms that you may have from this ascension and your awakening could be vivid dreams. You could start having memories pop up out of nowhere. You might even have accelerated heartbeat. You could have palpitations, lightheadedness, ringing in your ears, both or left or right. Lots of emotion might be coming up because all of these things have to be cleared out because of what's going on. We are, again, evolving, and that means we're changing trajectory here with where collective humanity is going to. So with that being said, I followed these breadcrumbs, which led me to meditation and doing certain practices and healing and clearing out my chakras and opening my chakra system up. The path that I'm actually on, and it's going to be different for every soul. Every person is going to be different. I am a twin flame. And when I met my twin flame, my soul was activated. And so a twin flame is another embodiment of your soul in another human. So this proves in some ways, well, not in some ways, it does prove reincarnation in timelines, because there are multiple timelines and multiple dimensions, and we are multidimensional beings. And this is why you see the movies starting to talk about, you think about the Marvel movies talking about multidimensionality, and that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, that type of thing. These things are real, and I have been in 2 other dimensions besides this one. Actually 3 really now. I've been out in the void. I have been able to connect into the heavenly realm, which is the 5th dimension. And I've also been in the dimension just below that, which is the cosmic realm. And so, yeah, there's a lot out there, and more than what we've been told and shown. And all of these things are beginning to be opened up to people. The truth is being revealed. So with my twin flame journey, when I met my twin flame, it activated Kundalini energy, and that began the Kundalini rising of energy through my chakra system. And so basically, I have had to clear and old trauma and wounds, which all is held in the 4 lower chakras, which I think I mentioned that before. All of our trauma and wounds from this life, past lives, it's all stored in these energy centers in our body. Now, the Bible talks about the 7 bodies. The 7 bodies are your 7 chakras, okay? And what I've come to learn with the twin flame path, for me personally, led me to Christ consciousness. Now, there are many paths that you can take. It's just going to depend on your soul contract and your DNA and your and where you get led to. And so that's why for me doing this for people is important, because I've come to a place where I understand that it's unity, it's all, and we celebrate all of the many paths to God, which is one, and we're all one. We're all one big, beautiful thing. So, for those of you who are consider yourself Christians, I say these not to, what I'm getting ready to say is definitely not to offend anybody, okay? But it is to help usher in a new perspective of things that have been kept secret from us. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, it's okay. Jesus himself was on an ascension path, okay? And he was teaching that to others. And a lot of his texts that are in other books were left out of the Bible. And do yourself a favor and go read the Gnostic texts, because those were the texts that were original before anything was put into the Holy Bible, the King James Bible, and before it was canonized. There's so much more that we needed to know, but we weren't allowed to know for whatever reason. We could say it's for power, greed. It doesn't matter, because the past is over. It doesn't matter why people did what they did, because now we're stepping into a new place where people are being awakened to the truth of who they are, and getting reconnected to their soul. And that's the goal. So I will explain a little bit about what I've come to learn through Christ consciousness. And one of my dear friends, Sherry, dropped a book off to me yesterday after listening to some of my messages here, or some of my videos rather here. And I wanted to read a little bit about this, because when I read this, I thought, my God, that's exactly what I personally have been shown. Now, one of the main things I can't stress enough to you is that please meditate. Please do the meditations, because the meditations and the getting quiet, even if you can't put the earphones in and listen to anything that kind of helps, any kind of guided meditation that helps you get into this state of peace and calmness, sit quietly, self-reflect before you go to bed at night. How was your day? How could you have made your day better? What felt good? What didn't? What could I have done differently? How could I have reacted differently? Anything like that. Any type of self-reflection and examination of our behaviors and our thoughts, just becoming more aware, okay? Because this is an awareness. We are waking up, which means we are becoming more aware, okay, of the truth, okay? So when I read this in the book that Sherry brought over to me, I thought, goodness, this is what needs to be. This is the best way you can tell people. Now, this book is called Angels of Fire, written by Candace Smithyman. She's a prophetic revivalist and healing minister and pastor of Freedom Destiny Church. Now, I've not met her. I know that there was a Freedom Destiny Church here, may still be. I don't know. I haven't really talked a whole lot with Sherry about it. I'm hoping to be able to do lives where I can bring people on who have had experiences, who want to share their experiences. And I just need 50 subscribers before I'm able to actually do that. That is my goal, is to make this open communication. Okay? So on the Christ consciousness path, with what Jesus himself embodied as God here came, was that what he was teaching was, and what he showed us is that because of his death, burial, resurrection, and ascension, we've been given the benefits of fellowship with the Father through the power of the Holy Spirit, and also the place of peace and rest, and the potential seat of overcoming sin, death, and the grave. This is the next dimension of living in heaven on earth. Jesus is seated in the heavenlies next to the Father. We are seated next to him, and we now have ascension power that comes when we operate in our heavenly position in the earth realm. My grandson is here, so we're going to hear a little music in the background. How perfect is that? So this is a whole way of living that gives us access to a realm that Jesus had by faith, so we can prepare ourselves, others, and this world for end time revival. So how perfect is this, that this book appears in front of me, because this is exactly what's going on. We do have the Holy Spirit, the gift of God's divine presence, and this is immeasurable, right? But we also have access to the realms of ascension because of our position in Christ. This access brings an increase in relationship with the Father and greater confidence when walking the earth realm to bring forth the glory. We have Holy Spirit power and ascension power. You might say, I thought I had a new position with the resurrection. You do, but that is the power to overcome sin, death, and the grave. There was more that Jesus did when he ascended that gave us power to operate in a realm of greater peace, rest, and relationship with the Father that impacts our earth realm. Yes, the resurrection increases these things too, but the ascension goes beyond this. A key verse that helps us understand the difference is John chapter 20, verse 11 through 18, in which Mary meets Jesus after his resurrection. So when Jesus was here, he was trying to teach people to get on an ascension path like he was, because he was letting people know, I and the Father are one, and you can do all things through me. And so if he can do it, so can you. But the powers to be didn't want the rest of us to know that we had the same abilities that Jesus did, because then we would know our true power and our purpose here. But it wasn't time yet. But he knew that, because he said, you will do all the things that I do and more. He already knew that. He was prophesying for the end times. And when we say end times, we don't mean like we're all going to be, like boom, and everyone's just going to be dead on the earth. That's just not what's happening. Ascension is the raising of your consciousness and your awareness, okay? It is shifting when you're clearing out these chakra fields, your energy centers. You are able to allow more light into the body, which raises your frequency. When you raise your frequency, okay, by clearing out that lower density and raising your frequencies, because you are energy, you are then opening up to even more of the truth of what this is. And the heavenly realm is in the fifth dimension. And to bring heaven on earth, okay, which Jesus said, heaven is here. He told everybody then, it's in the Bible. Heaven is here. It is here. It's here, and you can access it. And the way to do that is to open the energy fields, raise your vibration, expand the consciousness so that you can pull in the energy and the communication from heaven. And this is what I've been doing and didn't even realize that's what was going on. And so when you are connected in that way, you can literally bring in information. And the more expanded you are, the further out you go. So you can go out into the void. Now you're up there at the highest place, out in the void, where you can absolutely commune with God and realize that you are one with everything. You have now entered God's realm, like the everything that there ever is, was, and all the potentials. And you can actually start creating from that place, which is really cool, okay? You can go right out there and ask anything and it comes. Ask and you shall receive. That's the deal, okay? This is freedom. And it takes a courageous heart. And when you really do start seeking, the true seeker that wants the knowledge, that knows, that gets the calling or puts out the call and then starts following, all of the crumbs that are laid out for you and starts following the path. The true seeker follows that and then just goes within and just starts listening. And you realize you absolutely are being guided You're being guided. We're not in control of this. We're being guided. And you can be guided too, and let God work through you. It's amazing. I'm serious when I tell you there is absolutely no peace greater than this, to know, hey, and it's hard because, I, even as of just earlier this week, just could not feel like I could not let go of this one thing that was keeping me from just complete surrender. And leaving my job was hard enough. When I was called to let go of that was hard enough. But sometimes you have to let go of people that you don't want to let go of. And my God, that's the hardest thing for me, because I love people and I see the best in everybody. But anyway, I'm still a work in progress. And that's why I can still help you, because I know I've been through this. I'm telling you. Okay, so what this author Candace goes on to say is the part that might offend some people who are in church and have been indoctrinated, or I don't even like to say indoctrinated, but I mean, we have been trained to only look at things in one way, okay? But there's a new way, and it's the original way that Jesus really wanted us to know, that we can actually access now, which is really cool. And she says, the church has been stuck at the power of the resurrection, but we must get on to the ascension, okay? Then we will see revival in the earth. The angels know this because they are with Jesus and the Father. They live in that realm and want us to live there too. For this, we must be courageous. Jesus was courageous. He was courageous to die, be buried, resurrect, and ascend, so that we can now walk in the earth with no separation between us and the Father or God, okay? And that's what I came to actually experience in my last video, when I talked about the meditation that I did, and that I was out in the void and I was expanded to the point that I was one with everything. Everybody has the ability to do that, okay? There is no separation. And a lot of people, in church say, well, if you don't believe in Jesus, then you don't get to God. But what Jesus was actually saying was, I and the Father are one. If God is within me, and I'm showing you this, then God is within you too. And he walked the path all the way to the end, where at the very last, he was crucified. It's an ego death. This is what we're doing. We're stripping away the ego construct, and we're getting down to the very core of who we are, and the spirit that's within us, that came from God, that's still within each of us, that society, that these elites, that all of these, including us, because we've been a part of it, so we have to accept responsibility. We've been buying into it. We haven't been, being individuals and standing up for what we believe. A lot of people did when virus hit, because we were like, absolutely not, you're not putting that in me. And no offense to anybody who got it, but isn't it interesting 4 years later we can see the lies behind it? That's a whole nother subject I don't want to get into. Okay? So Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. So he's saying, if you know me, you know God. Philip said, Lord, show us the Father, and that will be enough for us. And Jesus said, don't you know me, Philip? Even after I've been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? Don't you believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing his work. Believe me when I say that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. or at least believe on the evidence of the words themselves. Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. And I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it. And that is 100% true. So what he's saying, whoever believes in me will do the works I've been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. He came to give you and I and everybody else here the ability to go to the Father, okay? You've accepted Christ, or you've accepted Jesus, you've done the seeking, you're clearing your seven bodies, first your 4 lower bodies, and then it moves up, and then you've created more room for light to come into you, which happened to me, and I will share with you that experience. So through the seeking and through literally looking at old text, which I shared in my very first video, just seeking and looking at old texts, the Gnostic Gospels, the Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch, which was kept from the Bible. Go read the Book of Enoch. Do yourself a favor. Read these things. If you are a Christian, read these things. Read the Kabbalah. Read the Kabbalah. These are mystic texts that need to be read if you really want to know it all. You have to expand the knowledge. I mean, and great, the books are great, okay? But I'm just saying, okay, education is good and the books are good. It kind of helped me on this path, and it will help to awaken you to some of this too. But when you go within, and so after seeking all of this and you start doing this work and you're clearing and you're making room, the light of God will literally come into you. And that's what happened to me. Out of nowhere, on a Sunday morning, I'm in my room, I'm awakened, there's a prayer playing on my TV. I'm following along with this prayer that says to lay down, open your arms. I'm thinking, well, usually when you pray, you put your hands together, but I'm just following along because, I'm in touch with my serendipities and my synchronicities. I know that for 4 years, I'm being guided. Okay, so I'm being told, lay down, open your arms. All of a sudden, the prayer starts, but I don't hear the prayer anymore. This voice, man's voice, as audible as my voice is to you right now, comes behind me and says, you are being filled with the light of God. When you hear them speak of Jesus, this is what they are referring to. And my entire body became illuminated with light. The light came into my head and through my body. I became completely weightless. I didn't feel my body anymore. And I felt like I was being levitated up off of my bed. And of course, not knowing what was going on, I got a little scared, and I telepathically said, am I dying? I'm not ready to die. I don't want my kids to come in here and find me dead on the bed. They've been through enough losing their dad. And this spirit, which I believe was Jesus, kind of gave me this feeling like he was laughing, like, no, you're not dying. Like, come on. Like, come on, don't you know enough yet? But I didn't. And he said 3 times, let go, let go, let go. And me, I'm just like, fine, I surrender. And when I said that, these waves of light, just energetic waves of light, just started flowing through me head to toe. And I just laid there feeling it. This is the light of God that comes in and reconfigures the cells in your body. I've come to learn, and upgrades you and just really connects you to God. Okay? This can happen. This can happen to you, I'm telling you. Okay? It's necessary for us to know that Jesus made a way for us to do greater works on earth, and that's what we're here to do. I know it's what I'm here to do. And you can walk in this power, and you can pull away You can pull away from the outside world. And this is what he means by being in the world and not of the world. When he called me to quit my job, it was the scariest thing I could have ever imagined. But I couldn't not listen to this, because I've been listening for the last 4 years for the first time in my life, okay? Because I've been doing it my way all along. And those of you who know me from my past could attest to this. You know, I wasn't listening to anybody but me, okay? And I'm still, I sometimes fall back on listening to me instead of my inner knowing, my God and the angels and my guides. But I'm getting better at it every day. So this is what we're going through. We're going through an ascension. We're evolving. These higher energies are becoming available to each and every person on this planet. The lower dense energies are leaving the planet. You will start to see the construct fall apart. The elites have been trying to prevent this, but they cannot, because it's too late now, because the scales have tipped and we are on the rise. And don't be in fear, because what they're going to try to do is get you to be afraid and, put out all kinds of stories for you to get latched into, because you are consciousness. And because your consciousness can be led in all sorts of ways, depending on whatever it is you're listening to and paying attention to. Do yourself a favor. I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. Turn the news off. It's not real. Okay? It is a false matrix. And you can get disconnected from it. And that's what Jesus came to teach people 2,000 years ago. To get disconnected from it. Don't pay attention to it. Go within, seek within. And it would really help you to start reading some of the texts that have been kept from us, because I think you'll gain a greater understanding. I am here. I feel like it's complete today. Like I've said what I needed to say today. And that was this is a big step for me. Because I know that I'm being called to speak the truth. And this is the way that I'm going to help the next awakening souls, because they're going to have a lot of questions and I will be able to answer them. And I'm here, I'm creating that space for anybody who wants to reach out to me. Again, I need more subscribers so I can bring other people on to talk about this, because this is happening all over the world. And it's exciting times, nothing to be scared of. Find your path. Mine happens to be the Christ consciousness path. It's oneness. You can look at Satguru was celebrating Mahashivari. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to think. Mahashivatri. Was yesterday on the 8th, and their deity is Shiva, and they know that it, and Satguru will literally, he is the same, he gets it, it's oneness. We all have to come together for us to create heaven on earth the way that it's supposed to be, the way that we are headed to. And every single person that wakes up to this understanding, you are contributing to that taking place. And that is ultimate freedom, ultimate love, unconditionally for every single person on this planet. Total freedom, total peace, out of an enslaved system that shouldn't be happening. It never should have happened. It has happened, but we're going to get over it. And we're all going to be living in peace and unity on this planet. And that is just the best. It just makes me so excited. So, okay, enough said. I'm going to go have breakfast with my little sweet nugget, Emiliano. I love him so. So, reach out, like and subscribe. Share this with people. Don't be afraid if it sounds woo-woo. It's okay. We're walking into woo-woo now, okay? We need to get used to woo-woo, okay? Because at a level, you're woo-woo too. You just don't know it yet, but it's coming. Go to my website. Share my website. I'm going to start making TikTok videos too. And I love you guys, and we'll talk again. Bye.